And it has, do you know how many strings? Two. So while they're setting up, and I will show this instrument because I brought all haegeums. I want you to experience it. This is very challenging instrument. So my very original, my very first instrument was piano. I started playing piano when I was 3 years old, and I was pretty good. Then at age 12, I played with a local symphony orchestra, Mozart number 21. Then I quit. And my second instrument was violin. And I found out, oh, I really like string instrument more than piano because I like to make a shape. And also anyway, I felt like I can control more. Then 3 years later, I first met this instrument. Wow, this is very challenging. So just personally, I get tired of everything very quickly, unless it's challenging enough, but it's still very challenging to me. So when you play this instrument later, don't be frustrated, it's just normal. Otherwise, I will be so shocked. So I was born in Korea, and I did my BA, MA, and DMA in Korea, Seoul National University, majored this instrument. Then I was an orchestra member, Gugak Center, which is national orchestra, and just all traditional instruments. And we have 4 different groups, like court music, folk music, dance, and I was a foundation member of this 4th, very new, but it's already 25 years old. 20 years old? Yeah, 20-something years old. And so they thought, because we have to make new repertoires for orchestra music. So we call it creative music troupe or something. And then I even been to North Korea to perform. So I didn't realize how big deal it was at the time. I was young, and we just took a bus, and it took just 1.5 hours from Seoul. And we were quite isolated. We didn't get to meet people. Well, we did every day like sauna or something like that. Yeah. And then 10 years ago, 2011, I got a 1-year leave of absence from my orchestra. Then I went to University of Hawaii as a visiting scholar at ethnomusicology department. And at the time, I did my first doctorate, and I wanted to write some dissertation about make this instrument more like a modernized or actually to compare to Chinese erhu. So this is more close to original, but Chinese erhu, they changed these strings to metal strings. So it has a louder sound. And then they use this part, we use a wood, but they use a snake skin, so it's much louder. And so I were more interested in developing this instrument because since I became an orchestra member, and I realized it's really hard to make 8 haegeum players. We had 8 members in our orchestra. Each one has a different instrument, so it's really hard to make one sound. Always a conductor asks us, don't do vibrato. It sounds like out of tune or something. So we really tried to make one sound, but it was really hard because the instrument itself is not not standardized. Like you see, all different, these 9 haegeums has different size, different length, and each, actually this strings, can you guess what this is made of? Silk. Yes, twisted silk. So the thickness, everyone use different. So if you have more So traditional repertoires, we don't use open strings, so we do not even have a tuning system. So we just keep perfect fit between two strings. That's it. So anyway, when I first went to Hawaii, I was more interested in making this instrument developed or whatever. But I met these two American composers who teach there, still they teach there. And then they wrote new pieces for me. And it was quite eye-opening experience to me because it felt like, as I said, because our conductor asked us, don't do vibrato, then wow, this sounds like out of tune. But that's the beauty of Korean music. But when these two composers wrote a piece for me, and I felt like, oh, this is really fit for this instrument. So they just say, oh, do more vibrato, that's awesome. And then, right? So I changed my mind. Oh, I want to make more repertoires instead of trying to change this instrument. Then I started to reach out to composers in the United States. And they think more out of the box. Because composers in Korea, they still tend to just make music like more traditional repertoires, like slightly different, but has still the same like rhythmic patterns or same pentatonic scales or something like that. And still, people think it's more respected. I think it's probably by now more changes because I left there 10 years ago. But anyway, then after 1 year leave of absence, I went back to Korea. Then I finished my first doctorate, and then I came back to United States 2015 as a visiting scholar at UC Berkeley. This time I was affiliated in Korean studies. Then I started work with all the UC and like Bay Area universities. So I visit there, usually the composition graduate student, like a colloquium or workshop. Then I brought this instrument and I showed how to play haegeum, and I gave 1 or 2 haegeum to the instructor. And then while they're composing piece for me, and then they try out. And then they found, it was amazing, they found new techniques for me, because I've never tried it when I was in Korea. Then I taught them how to play haegeum, and then they taught me new techniques, and it became it enabled to broaden my musical language or gesture palette, right? So, and I started to use them for my improvisation. So originally traditional music, like any other traditional or folk music, it's more improvisation music, but these days it's more fixed. But since I moved to Bay Area 2015, and people started to reach out to me to improvise with them. But I didn't know what to do, because in Korea, when I learned, it's all about imitation, my teacher, right? Even like human intangible asset, that's the step. So if you want to do the next one, and you have to be the closest to who just passed away. And then annually we test them, and if you play different than previous year, and you just fired. So you really have to be saying yeah. Anyway, so. So anyway, so since I moved to a Bay Area, I was lost.
You learned the techniques through the
Oh yeah, they taught me extended techniques, and then end of the semester I went back to their workshop, and we read together. We had a read together the first sketch, and then we gave a premiere concert. Then I started to improvise, and then it was again 1 year leave of absence from my orchestra that I supposed to go back to Korea. But right before, like 3 weeks left, and then I got connected with a Kronos quartet, and then they want just to have a meeting. So I just brought this instrument and I played for them, and actually the first violinist, whose name is David Harrington, and then he asked me, like, I played court music and folk music, and he asked me if I was a composer, and I said no, but I really like to make new repertoires for my instrument, and I'm interested in working with a composer. And then he said, and then what about improvisation? And I can do a little bit. And then, so I played something, and then he said, oh, can I record with my iPhone can you play for 2 minutes? And then he recorded something for 2 minutes. And then he asked me again to improvise while listening this, what he just recorded. It just suddenly became like an audition, right? So I don't remember even what I just played, right? In front of Kronos quartet, right? So, okay. And I played something else. And then he said, you are a composer, you didn't realize it. Then he commissioned a string quartet piece. And I said, no. Because I don't know how to compose. I never studied. And I don't know well about like harmony or theory or whatever, right? So, and string instruments, and I said no. But he said that, and I told him, 'cause I only know Korean traditional music. And he said, that's great. We want to learn Korean traditional music through your piece. So can you make a piece we can learn? Then, but I still said no. Because I am a performer. I just want to play on the stage as a performer. That's what I really like to do, and I can do well, right? So then he just asked me, oh, do you like ice cream? And he took the ice cream place, and eventually I said yes. And his idea is that just bring your instrument to the recording studio. Then what you just did, just play 10 minutes, and overdub 10 minutes, 4 times. Then transcribe it. So first he said they have 2 amazing arrangers. So all you need to do is just to play, and then you can go back to Korea. That we can deal with this after that. So then I met him. And then I recorded, but I still couldn't finish the piece because I don't know how to end the piece. So I said, oh, David, I don't know. I think I can't do this anymore. And he said, oh, what about you just play just assume this is a quintet piece, and then how about you just improvise your part on top of this quartet. So I did that, and then, I came up with a pretty nice ending. then he lied. He pushed me to arrange and transcribe. He asked me, oh, can you transcribe 15 seconds? One file. Actually, Korean traditional music is very slow. Just one note is 15 seconds. So I couldn't say no, right? Okay, and then I transcribed, and I realized because Korean traditional music is not metronomically like exact. It's more breath. Like we breathe together and more momentum. So probably this only I can do. I can transcribe this. So then I finished. It takes 1 week to transcribe quartet. Then I sent to him, and he said, "Oh, do you know how to use Sibelius or No, I can't." And then he said, "Okay, then I will ask Sunny, or at the time they're like a violist and cellist. I know they're super busy, right? And then I can ask them to teach you." I said, okay. I can rather self-taught myself. And then it took 1 month to, my first software was notation software was Sibelius. So it takes only 2 hours to compose, I mean recording. Then transcription took 1 week. Then just to move to the engraving took 1 month. Yeah. Anyway, so it became my very first piece, and later on it became part of their 50 for the Future project. Have you heard of that project? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a learning repertoire, right? So that it became one of 50 pieces. And it's my very first piece. And then people say it's like a Cinderella story or something. But even then, I didn't call myself as a composer because I've never go to school or something. I felt like I drive without driver's license. It was 2017, and then later I gave the score to them, and then David reached out to me. Actually, can you play with us? So yeah, I quit my orchestra job and I moved here. Yeah, because I wanted to do something only I can do. You know, the orchestra member is amazing. It's the very prestigious, especially in Korea. But after experience all these amazing things, I don't want to make 1 out of 50 orchestra member sound, right? Then, anyway, yeah, it's supposed to be short. So, okay, let's start. So, yeah, the piece title later on became Yesori, which means sound from the past. So when people first hear this instrument's sound, people say, oh, it sounds like something from ancient. So that's why I make the title like that. And anytime you have any questions, just feel free to control.
Can you tell me, what's the project name? 50 for Future?
50 for the Future.
50 for the Future.
Yeah, so I was a founding member of this orchestra. Yeah, so traditionally we just sit with the cross leg, but traditionally we don't have a conductor. No. But now we do have. So whenever I think, so before I make this piece, Yesori, I got invited to the workshops, mostly for composers or undergrad course. You know, when professors should be out of town, they need help. so I just visit them, and yeah, it's easy for me to fill out 1 hour-ish anyway. So, so they reach out to me, but I try to teach them Korean music, traditional music theory, or history, or some like a percussion instrument, because I thought it's easier than this one. But I never felt inefficient or 12, or even for Korean people. So normal Korean people, they never sing this instrument. And they don't, because the traditional pieces are very old one, right? But after I made my very first piece, and then I started to coach string quartet. And then it's much easier because the instrument they play, like a violin, viola, cello, it's already familiar to them. So they could express with their own instrument, like some nuances, which I cannot really write down on the score, and all the glissandos or various type of vibratos, and they could really make sound. Although it's not haegeum, it doesn't need to be haegeum, right? But their own instruments, I felt much easier for me as an instrument. Then, so anyway, the Korean music, whenever I think of it, I think they have very unique characters. So tone color. How many of you have ever listened to Korean music, traditional music? Yeah. So, what do you remember of the timbre?
Timbre. It's well, there's like a really heavy vibrato. I think to a lot of compared to a lot of Western music, maybe it sounds a little rough or harsh, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Rough or harsh. And heterophony. So court music, we share like a skeletal melody. Actually, we only have one score. We share that score traditionally. These days, we make an arrangement of each instrument. And then each instrument has their own embellishment or ornaments. We call it sikimsae in Korea. So even in the same instrument, they play differently. Basically there is no right or wrong. So in written score it's just a guide. It's just guide. It's just like a very skeletal melody, but each instrument has their own ornaments. So I'm gonna play the later. And then 3, the 장단. 장단 is rhythmic cycles. Especially folk music, we do have a specific like a 장단. And when even we do the improvisation, we improvise within this rhythmic cycles, patterns. So this is a score of court music. So when we read from right to left and from top to bottom, like this and this. And as you know well, we use pentatonic scale, only 5 notes. And then one box means one beat. And these are small things, all different ornaments. Let me play this. I'm gonna play from here. And then this first line is 장구 part. 장구 is hourglass-shaped percussion instruments. Yeah. Where did I stop? Can you guess? I started.
Wow. I was looking all the way to the end.
I knew it. It's very, very slow. Yeah, so then, any,
Yeah. What are the thick lines? What do they stand for? The horizontal lines.
oh, these,
Yeah. What's that?
oh, it's just the Jangu pattern. It's 6, 4, 4, 6. It's more like
The rhythmic cycle.
yeah.
Yeah.
If we do the Western notation, probably like a 6 plus 4, 4, something like that.
But that doesn't automatically mean meter, right? Or is this thought of as meter, some kind of meter? Like in
Bar.
A meter.
meter, yeah.
Yeah, you can interpret it as a meter.
So like the thick line would be a downbeat.
Like a
or so?
6, 4, 4, 4, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
4, 4, 6, 4. Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. Actually, when we do transcribe in Western state composition, we do that.
How would you describe the downbeat though? Does it have a feel of like, I'm interested in more like what the traditional way of how you feel that downbeat, that thick line. How do you feel that when you perform or when you count? Yeah.
Yeah, so the Jangu is really important. It's more like a conductor role in
Okay.
traditional music. So we wait until we hear this.
Gotcha.
So it's not technically not all together. We're all like yeah. But you can't go before him usually. Yeah, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's more like yeah.
Yeah. So I saw you mentioned about one box kind of equals to one beat, but here are several boxes they contain more than one note. For example,
Yeah,
how do you decide the portion of each note? the
Yeah, it's
note
like
length?
it's the same 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It's like triplet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So we do have two big different genres. First one is court music, what I just played, and second one is folk music. So this is from the Youngheji school, the haegeum sanjo. Sanjo is, have you heard of pansori? Pansori is a woman opera, like based on shaman music. So this is the instrumental version. So each instrument has their own sanjo. And this person is kind of a composer. So who very first made this sanjo. So then this sanjo, this specific 지역이류 haegeum sanjo has usually 4 or 5 different 장단. 장단, do you remember what it is? Yes. Wow. So now I want to teach you this is jumori, because jumori is I think it's easiest one. So you know the stems up and down. The up is right. So this is basically score parts for 장구. 장구, the hourglass shaped percussion. So this means the left and right together. And this one is right, left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, second, nothing. Okay. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Ready, go. 1,
confusing because it's really 12 quarter notes. To be
Yeah.
clear, that's not a quarter at the beginning. Anybody's confused about that. It took me a while to parse the time signature. Right?
Okay.
Well, quarter.
Better now?
Okay.
Get it?
Ready, go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now I'm going to teach you. No. I'm going to teach you guum. Guum is I don't know. Like this is dong, dong, and the right hand dong, and on the left hand is kum, kum. What was this?
Dong.
Dong.
Kum.
Dong.
Do, 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 kum, kum. Okay, good.
Okay.
Ready, go. Great, but one more time. 1, 2, 3. How different than court music?
Faster.
Huh?
Faster. And more leaps, more active.
And vibrato.
Yeah, more of everything.
Yeah, more expressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first one, court music, was usually played in the palace when we have a banquet or some ceremony. And then this one just played in everywhere, and it's more expressive. The court music, well, we were trained that not to express, too much expressive. It's more meditative. So, yeah, by the way, great job. So, yeah, this was, people asked me what's the origin of this instrument. So, we say it's from Persia. So, it came to Korea through Silk Road. So, the most of Asian countries, they do have it's like this spike fiddle. Some has 2 strings, 1 string, or 4 strings. This has 4 strings, right? And can you guess how in North Korea haegeum looks like? Same. That's it. No. They added 2 more strings, and they changed the strings to the metal string, like a violin, and they take out the bow, and basically like a vertical violin.
Cello, mini cello. Like a mini
Yeah,
cello.
yeah. They do have a cello
cello.
size as well. But it has different temperament. So in Korea, surprisingly, this instrument classified as a wind instrument. This instrument. Why?
Sound quality.
Huh?
I'm not sure. Sound quality.
Maybe imitating voice?
Oh yeah, it
But
really
it's the
sounds
same.
like a human voice. But that's a voice, not wind instrument, right? But great catch. But anyway, because compared to these instruments, this is haegeum plucked instrument. 검은고, it's also plucked instrument, use bamboo stick. But this can sustain the notes. So the court music, what I just played the first time, there is no really rest. So when other real wind instruments take a breath, haegeum players just fill out that moment. Because for the court music, we try to match each instrument plays the same like number, like 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. This instrument is very soft compared to other reed instruments. So it's really hard to hear when all play together. Mostly we all play together. But when they take a break or breathe, and then you can finally really listen to this instrument. But in the new music, new composed music, when I worked like a new orchestra music, haegeum is very active. Still not main melody because of the volume wise, but we more play the counter or like a melody or anyway. And then also these instruments, this is a 12 string, but they do have a 25 strings. Because they have a limitation. So when we change the key, it's time consuming, right? They have to move the bridges. But this instrument, we are really freely move anytime. And then even when I squeeze, the pitch goes up. Or I can just lie down. I can easily play all the microphones. So now it's the most popular one. Yeah, these are wind instruments. So now I want you to play some haegeum. And before I give the haegeum to you, how many of you are string players here? 2? So these are all each part's name. So this is made of root of bamboo tree. So it's heavy inside. And the bow is horsehair. But the bow, can you see any difference? Very loose. So you have to make your own tension. See? They even use almost like a bow. violin bow, right? This is and they do have different volumes.
So it's supposed to be louder as a result.
Louder and lower,
Yeah.
more like a cello. These are mine. I used to have only violin now. Now, yes. So this is how you hold the bow. So these 3 fingers, you grab the leather, and these 2 fingers you push, and then you can make a tension. How many? 2 to 3 people can have one. Oh, you can come and. I taught everything. Now you should play. These are just basics. Bowl should touch sound box all the time. Okay. Attention, please. I knew this is gonna happen. I knew it. Okay. So the bowl should touch sound box all the time. Don't go like all the way up here. You can play like that as an extended technique. But not yet. Okay. Then. Okay, instrument should like this. It's a lot of you guys. So this, yeah. Yes. Shall we play our string first? Okay. Left hand. Index finger and pinky.
That's gonna enjoy the tension.
I know you're gonna be so excited. Okay. Left index finger and pinky touch with the first joint.
Oh, I see. It's over there.
Then these middle 2 between first and second joint. Okay.
Oh, you need to go to fingers. Okay.
She's talking about the left hand.
I think that this with the nice sound. Getting faster and wider as a like graphic. Yeah.
Who's
What's
gonna
the
demonstrate?
way? Oh wow. I think that's
The
what
graphic.
is it? Sound?
graphical.
I'll take that.
That's just graphic.
Okay, here I will show the release vibrato. Then after showing this, you should wait. Oh, there's one song.
That's the sound. Yeah.
I don't get sound.
Next, I'm going to demonstrate release vibrato. It starts with a written note pitch, and then it goes downward and getting softer with diminuendo. Next, the Sunny will demonstrate with her cello.
So this is the release vibrato that Soo Yeon was just talking about. And on the part, it looks like a big curve in front of our regular wiggles that we're used to seeing. So on the main note, in which case I'll demonstrate here, it's B flat. You stay there for a while and then you go down and then get faster. I'm gonna demonstrate one more time.
Got it? Okay, I will give you 1 minute to practice.
Yeah, so this
Any questions or need help? Raise your hand. tension, right? Then you can have a space to release, right? So, okay, great. Feels very chaotic because it's not equal temperament and they're not together. So it took me almost 20 something years, or even now I didn't get it. Yeah, it's really so this piece because when they commissioned me the piece because they wanted to learn Korean traditional music. So the very first part, this has 5 different A, B, C, D, E section. So A section, I try to express more court music-ish sound. So I do have a written score, but we don't really play, especially the rhythm-wise. So and also the I write this because. Honestly, it's more the interval. So even same pitch, if in different mode, interval getting closer or wider. So narrow or wider. So I decided to just, this is, in my piece, is slightly higher than E flat. Something like that. Still very confused. I'm still confused. So the just it looks like that. And this is my solo. It's like that. But I wanted them to explore and experience that the momentum. So I gave them freedom within phrase. So we just each measure one of a quartet member each time they give us a cue. So we just know approximately where we are, but they don't really meet like this. So let me play a little bit, and then this was the A section, and then the B section. I tried to teach them folk music. So my favorite jamdan is onmori. The dong da dong dong da dong 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 dong. Then also, as I told you, the Korean music, the big part of Korean music is improvisation. So I want them to make their own melody, but like they make their own sentence using my words. So I gave them these gestures. They can pick like for violin. We just made a decision who's gonna go first. So a cello, then viola, then viola, then whatever. Then more than maximum 2 people play together. Because solo, duo, solo, duo, solo, duo. So it's every time we play this more than 6 or 7 times. Every time we play this section is completely different. Then this D and E is short ending with rhythm cycles. definitely feel like they got some Korean traditional music's nuance and very subtleness, subtlety that I can put on the score. And when we rehearsed this piece, they asked me to make each part a video demo, because they found out my bow speed is always very different, and they think it's very important. So yeah, I made each one, and I did that. Also, I played with them, so yeah, basically, yeah, I learned this. So I felt much easier for me to teach. Otherwise, how can I teach all these like vibratos, all different shape, right? They can learn in short time, but they will easily forget. So, any questions? Oh, what we only 9 minutes. So yeah, we made an instructional video, because the main goal of this project was because Carnegie Hall, they had a 125 anniversary, 100%, and then 50 of them, the Crows took it, and they wanted to share these 50 new string quartet pieces all over the world for free. So we released all the score part and composer interview, also the instructional video. Like what I showed that release vibrato, it's the part of our instructional video. And also I explained that 10/8, the rhythmic cycle, them, and when do so this piece has two different versions, quartet and quintet version, when I with them or without me, because the goal is to teach them, and then we want them be played more and more, right? And then so when they do not have this gong, they use this pot, any pot from their kitchen. So and then I saw like some quartet, I asked the celloist to play that gong part. So they just play with their cello line. Yeah. I think we do not have enough time to introduce another music. So I will take questions.
I'm curious about your compositions since this piece. Especially how you incorporate improvisation, if you still do, and is it like structured improvisation, or how do you handle that? And also if you've written for Korean instruments since then, other than haegeum, or if you stick with mostly Western instruments and sort of translating the Korean style to them.
Yeah, so this was my first piece, and then I wasn't sure, should I keep composing or just be quiet, pretend that nothing happened. And then 2019, because before too late, so I'm 45 now, so 19, almost I was 40, right, at the time, 2019, because I'm 45. Anyway, so before too late, I wanted to give it another shot before too late. So, and then I applied Bang on a Can Summer Festival, and then I went there as a composer. I only had one portfolio, but luckily I got it. I think they just checked one piece, obviously. Anyway, and then, so when I was there, and then I had two options, like for writing for a big ensemble, like 25 people, or 6-7 people. So I thought, this can be my very second and last piece. So I should. I told you I love challenging, right? And so I chose the first one, and then this time I can't. It was a short piece. It was a 6-minute piece, but I can't improvise 25 6 times, right? So, and then also I don't know, all the instrumentation was so weird. I still remember like two piano, 2 trombone, 4 percussion, 5 violin, and 2 flute, 2 clap, something very weird. So anyway, it took forever for me because I couldn't improvise on my haegeum, which was my vehicle, still part of my composition. But anyway, I composed, and I went there, and the Julia Wolf, David, I asked them, it was crazy, and I know nothing about all these instruments, and then both they say, usually we don't recommend someone like you, already professional musician, go back to the school, but you can take some energy because you don't know all these instruments. It's really hard for you to just tell yourself all these things. So anyway, I applied to Princeton. First year I got waitlisted because I already have a music doctorate. So technically I cannot do it in the same field with the second one, right? So anyway, the second time I tried and I got in. They made the exception for me. Anyway, because it's very different. What I learned in Korea is totally different. So anyway, then I still use haegeum. For example, I made a haegeum concerto recently, and then haegeum part I completely improvise with haegeum. But other parts I use keyboards or I just compose. And one time, 2 years ago, I fell and I injured my wrist, so I couldn't play haegeum at all. So that. But I had a general exams. I had to compose something, and I can only use right or left on one hand. So then music is very different than others. Yeah, it sounds like not my music, but I think I like it. And then and recently, last summer, I got commissioned from the orchestra where I was there for 12 years. And I wrote haegeum concerto, and they say it's really lots of harmonies and very challenging, and so many accidentals, because although they are new music orchestra, they are familiar with 3 flats or 4 flats. But I didn't use any key signature, So they say, oh, so challenging. We have to, especially those two, the instruments which is called haegeum, they had to move all of the tuning different systems. So they say, oh, it's so confusing. And they call my music is very contemporary. And but I don't think, but my faculty said that my music is cinematic. Exactly. The same piece. They say, oh, this is very cinematic piece. Any other questions?
You mentioned, but I probably didn't catch. So 5 sections within Yesui. A, core music, B, folk music, C, improvise. How about D?
D and E both from Sanjo, the folk music rhythmic pattern. The D was the very last one because Sanjo 장단 start with the slower 장단 and getting faster and faster. What we practiced the 중머리 is the second one. And but my music D is 자지머리, which is the fastest one, and then E I end with E, which is the slowest first one.
Thank you.
Do you see kids getting involved in this, or mostly older adults kind of learning?
Oh, I saw like a youth, yeah, like a teenagers playing, yeah.
Cool.
Any more questions?
So,
Oh yeah.
you mentioned a particular scale and you showed how in this basic, like a pentatonic model, but then 2 notes are higher and 3 notes are lower. How many scales like that?
So basically, we have we can compare to major and minor. Let me play quickly. So the first one we call it 평조. Second one 계면조. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we share 4 notes, but interval is different.
Will you play those both one more time?
Huh?
Play both of those one more time, please.
So what we played called the release vibrato is only for second scale.
Thank you.